It's week 16. We have just 3 weeks left in the NFL regular season. We've also got an exciting free-to-play SimWin fantasy contest with $50,000 in prizes. Happy Friday. Let's get into it. JM, jolly morning out there to everyone. We've got Sergeant Stogie. We've got Leonard Chan. How's it going, everyone? Thanks for joining this evening. Was a little under the weather yesterday, so my voice is a bit harsh. Apologies for that, but ready to break down the slate quickly here. We've got Week 16 Rumble, just 3 weeks remaining in the Jolly Joker season-long contests. We also have released our full Rumble season-long leaderboard, and we have our new SimWin fantasy sports contest that's coming next Wednesday that is free to play with $50,000 in prizes. So plenty to touch on here. Let's do it. All right. We're going to go ahead here. So first, I do want to share. So we have this new season-long leaderboard up top, and this is taking all of the performances from all of the main events. Baller 44 currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard. And we are proud to be partnering with Trophy Smack for this leaderboard. They've been kind enough to give us some prizes here. The winner is going to get a championship belt. The top, I believe, 10 are going to get a championship ring. And then the rest of the top, I think 100? Oh, no, even more. Get $20 in coupons. 200, the top 200. So really cool stuff there. You can click on the banner up top that will explain a little bit more about the leaderboard and about Trophy Smack. You can head on over to the Trophy Smack website and you can see here's what we're looking at here. So we've got the championship belt here going to be branded with Rumble for the winner. Championship rings for each of the top folks as well. Really cool stuff there. And then everyone else will be able to get a coupon if you're in the top 200 that you can then use to make a purchase for, maybe your home league where you're playing with your buddies or whatever that may be. So definitely check out the season-long leaderboard. Got a tight race up at the top here. So with 3 weeks left, it'll be fun to follow that. We got Redbird up top with the Jolly Joker. Seeing them sitting at the top of a couple of the Joker leaderboards. And yeah, fun little view here. You can also kind of filter by and see how much money people have won in the contests, which is cool. And hey, a lot of Dapper Balance has been distributed via Rumble this year. All right, there we have it there. Let's get into the slate. There's not too much to discuss from last night other than Evan Ingram again putting himself into contention for sure with an 18-point game at the tight end spot. I think that's pretty darn good. And as we say here, Ingram or Kelsey, yes, I think that is pretty much the decision that needs to be made at tight end this week. Do you just lock in Ingram with the 18 points? If you're, I think this is a classic situation of if you are playing in the Rumble contest and you're towards the top of the leaderboard, definitely just lock in Evan Ingram there at the tight end spot. If you're looking to chase from behind, it might be time to try and play Kelsey and gain a little bit of ground on the field for those people that are playing Evan Ingram. But yeah, you can go out there and get a Ingram for just $6 low ask. Pretty good deal there. And yeah, other than that, not a ton to write home about in last night's game. I actually didn't watch any of the game, and it seems like I didn't miss much. 19-3 in New York. I mean, Zach Wilson is just not very good at football. 2.78 points. That is not good. Taking a sip of the coffee there. All right, yeah, running back. I mean, ETN with 14, like fine, but not good enough, and no receiver over 6 points. So I think that's really all that is relevant when it comes to last night's game, which makes it fun because last week was a unique week where we had the 4-game Rumble wrinkle and a lot of the lineup was already built for you. This week, not the case. We have one player in Evan Ingram that's in contention. Other than that, we need to go ahead and make our own lineups. And important reminder, pretty much all of the games are on Saturday this week. So Rumble will be locking at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. This is the only week all season where we lock on Saturday. So make sure you go in and enter your lineups before that deadline. And let's do our position by position walkthrough. So the most noteworthy thing at the quarterback position is that my guy, Jalen Hurts, is not playing this week. He will be sitting out with an injury. Gardner Minshew will be starting for the Philadelphia Eagles. So that takes one of the elite quarterbacks out of play and leaves us with Mahomes and Allen at the top. Mahomes is home against Seattle. Josh Allen is at Chicago. There's definitely a lot of weather stuff going on across the league this week. So a lot of weather stuff. It's going to be really cold in a lot of places, probably looking at some snow in a couple of places. So make sure you're monitoring the weather and being aware of that. I mean, we got at Chicago, at New England, at Indy, like definitely some games where the weather is not going to be ideal. And, we got Green Bay at home against Miami. So there's a good weather spot there. Minnesota, New York Giants, I think definitely a game that we're looking at in terms of a lot of points expected to be scored. Minnesota, they're like half fraud, half, have a lot of really good players, especially really good fantasy players. Of course, Justin Jefferson leads the way there and has been, the number one player in fantasy pretty much all season long. And let's see, I'm just pulling up some totals here to see what we're looking at. The highest total game of the week is that Miami and Green Bay game. And then you have the Kansas City and Seattle game right behind that. And then you have the Minnesota and Giants game there. So those are the games with the 3 highest totals. I think at the quarterback spot, I mean, Mahomes is a pretty clear number one in terms of just raw value and, who you would want to play there. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a clear number one this week, especially with Allen going to Chicago. Could be some weather implications there. Let's see what we're looking at. So yeah, so that game's the total is it opened at 45.5 and is now down to 40.5. So a 5-point drop in the total, which is massive. Definitely a game that is going to be a bit sloppy. The weather's going to be nuts there. So yeah, if you're up on those leaderboards, Mahomes is certainly the best play there, but you can definitely get involved with people like Kirk Cousins and Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow and Tua. I think those are great secondary plays for people that are chasing behind, and it's an interesting week to get a little bit unique with some of those stacks. So Kirk Cousins is typically not somebody I would recommend in Rumble, but I actually think it's a pretty good week to pair him up with Justin Jefferson. You can run it back at the running back position with Saquon Barkley from the Giants side. Get a little mini game stack there. I like that a lot. With that said, let's head on over to the running back position where Christian McCaffrey is just doing Christian McCaffrey things lately. Definitely the number one running back in fantasy, and the projections that we have here have him on par with some of these other guys, but in actuality, I think some other sites have McCaffrey projected at 5 points more than Derrick Henry. So McCaffrey and Henry are absolute standout plays this week, and I expect their ownership to reflect that. They're always two of the highest owns, but with their spots this week, both of them at home, McCaffrey against Washington, Derrick Henry home against Houston, really, really juicy matchup there. So, and then, Austin Eckler is, of course, someone that's been one of the higher owned running backs and one of the best performing running backs all year. So it is 10:30 my time. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Philly. So 7:30 would be too early for me. I'm more of a late night guy, a little bit of a late riser guy. So yeah, 10:30 my time. And yeah. So the game's impacted by weather. The main one is definitely just the Buffalo game. And last night's game, obviously, but that has already happened. I think the Tennessee game had a pretty big drop in its total too. So I think there might be some weather there. The Cleveland game also has a massive drop in their total. So a lot of these games have opened and then dropped like 5-6 points in the total. So, but when you're looking at a game like Cleveland and the Saints, there's not really any Rumble implications there anyways, or, Ravens versus Falcons. There's a lot of weather stuff. Basically any game that is taking place on the East Coast and is outside is looking pretty ugly. So I think it's for the people that are going that next level deeper and looking at these game environments and looking at the weather, it's a good opportunity there. And we talk about the weather being quote unquote bad in Tennessee, but I mean, we're talking about Derrick Henry here. Like, bring it on. Derrick Henry in December, bad weather actually becomes a plus for him as his, as that spot, because they're just going to feed him the ball. He'll be running dudes over. Love to see that there. Recommended hero. McCaffrey is definitely an interesting hero spot here, especially because you can pick one up for $55. So I would throw McCaffrey out there as one of my favorite hero plays, and then I would also for sure throw Justin Jefferson into the mix there. Justin Jefferson is just incredible. He's going to be the highest owned wide receiver, but I mean, he's so good. He has such a high floor, high ceiling, best wide receiver in the league. Great game environment with the second highest total, third highest total on the slate. I really like Justin Jefferson in this spot. I think he's a great play, even if he's high owned. I think he's a fantastic option for your hero this week. Tyreek Hill is also, again, he's always one of the best plays, but I love him this week just because they're down in Miami and they're avoiding any of the weather nonsense there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, always someone that I like to talk about on this show. I'm definitely willing to take a look at him again this week at Carolina. Seems like there's no weather implications there. Jamar Chase up in New England, not the greatest matchup for Jamar Chase. So there's better spots to utilize Chase. So I would definitely, I'd put Justin Jefferson, a step above Jamar Chase for this particular week, just because I think that New England game is going to be a little bit on the lower scoring side. Devontae Adams at Pittsburgh. That's another low total there with only 38 points. A lot of low totals this week. So I expect overall it's going to be a pretty low scoring week in terms of total scores. And it might be an interesting week to really kind of go consolidated with some stacks and really pepper those warmer weather games. So peppering the Green Bay Miami game in the form of Tyreek Hill. You can play Tua if you want. You can play Waddle if you want as well. Don't really love anyone on the Green Bay side, but if you're looking for a flyer, Watson and Lazard always have that kind of upside. And then you've got the Kansas City Seattle game. We didn't talk about him on the running backs spot, but I think that Kenneth Walker is an interesting potential play. I think he's got some health issues though, so probably not going to go there in Rumble. I know in DFS he is coming up as an interesting play. Yeah, Mahomes Hero is always in play for sure. For sure, Mahomes Hero is always in play. I actually think the optimal move is to use your hero on a running back or a wide receiver, though, because that's where you have the chance to get the most separation, I would say. Although, given the uniqueness of this week and given we don't have Jalen Hurts, I could see a scenario where Mahomes kind of blows away the field in terms of how many points he scores. So, yeah, Mahomes Hero for sure. It's an expensive one, though. So if you don't already own the Mahomes Hero, I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy one for that just because it's expensive. But if you want a Mahomes in your collection anyways, of course, having a rare or legendary Mahomes is great. I think playing AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb this week, a little mini stack there. I like it a lot. AJ Brown to me, and I know that obviously Hurts is not playing this week, but how many times have we seen AJ Brown come in like the 10 to 15% ownership, and then he ends up in the winning lineup, right? Like we're just getting him at a discount to these guys that are up higher, at a discount to Jefferson, Hill, Chase, Adams, Diggs. And I think that, while of course Gardner Minshew is not as good as Jalen Hurts, I think the Eagles are still going to come out throwing the ball. They're going to play their game plan. I don't really envision them trying to mix up too much, right? They're not going to, change their whole overall strategy just for one game. They're playing with the end state in mind. I think they'll come out throwing against Dallas. We've got a game in a dome there, so no weather concerns. So I think putting together a little AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb mini stack. I mean, if I was making a lineup, I think my 3 wide receivers would be Justin Jefferson, and then AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb, and then just fade all these guys in the middle, and then maybe play Amon-Ra St. Brown in the flex. Ooh, man, I might create a burner account and submit a lineup this week and just take all the money down. Take all the money down. So there we have it. You could look at DK Metcalf this week if you're playing Mahomes, and if you're going Mahomes and Kelsey, say, and you want somebody on the other side. Tyler Lockett is out this week. DK Metcalf hasn't been the greatest as of late. He'll come in low owned, so I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. If you're trying to maintain the lead, wow, humble brag there that Leonard Chan is maintaining leads. What's your username? We'll check you out on the leaderboards. Yeah, I mean, look, playing them. I mean, any of these 3, it's such a high floor, high ceiling hero play. I think they're all great plays. If you're just trying to maintain, it probably is best to just put in a Mahomes hero. I mean, Mahomes is basically guaranteed to get you 25 points with that upside to 35. So, yeah, great spot to be. And then tight end, we talked about it, but for me, it's pretty much Evan Engram locking in the 18 points, or you're looking at Kelsey, or you could. Lamar Jackson's still out, though, right? I think Lamar Jackson's still out. Yeah. So I wouldn't play Mark Andrews. Okay. I mean, until Lamar Jackson's back, Mark Andrews is just not in that same tier. I would either play Engram or I would play Kelsey. I wouldn't really look anywhere else. Hawkinson, maybe maybe. I mean, if you want to go crazy with that game, I could see playing Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, run back on the other side with Saquon Barkley. I think that's an interesting play. I think it projects pretty well. And yeah, Hawkinson's been solid. So I think that's also fine. All right. I think that's a good enough quick breakdown for Rumble this week. I need to run a little. Sorry about that. Need to run it a little bit, but I do want to talk about SimWin Sports. So, for anyone that did not see last night in the Jolly Jokers Discord, we announced that our friends over at SimWin are giving us a really cool opportunity here. So next week on Wednesday is going to be their first ever virtual sports game. So they're going to be hosting I believe, 2-game slate. It's going to be the All-Star game, and they're just using this to test out the product, to fix any bugs that they have. And, this is like super, super early beta. And we're fortunate enough that they are leveraging the OTM and Jolly Jokers community to help them test out this product. And on top of that, to show that appreciation, they're giving us $50,000 in SimWin cash as prizes, which, I mean, is super, super generous of them. So you can head on over to this site, maximus.simwinsports.io. You'll go there. You'll click on the Try DFS button and then go through the account creation and sign-in process. And then you can go, and just like you would in any other fantasy contest, you can create a lineup here. So, you go pretty deep in terms of the player pool. All of these people are on the All-Star team. We've seen some questions about how do you know who to pick and the strategy and such. So if you click on each of the players, you can see their different attributes. So you can use that to get a feel for what kind of player they are. So, there's definitely things that can be looked at. I think the main thing that we are looking to get confirmation on is this health, right? So when people are health 0%, I think that means you don't want to play them. I'm pretty sure that means you don't want to play them. We're going to get full confirmation on that. But they also don't have player attributes. So it seems like if somebody has 0% health, then they might not be playing. So I would definitely double check as you're picking your players to make sure that you have people that are healthy. So this guy, Sean Bentley, 0% health. Ooh, he's old too. 33 years old. That's really old in the metaverse too. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be super interesting on next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's when the games will start. We'll have the opportunity to watch the games, to sweat our lineups, and it's going to be fun. And hey, this is starting scouting, right? We're going to be drafting a team in a couple of months, and this is the opportunity to start evaluating and seeing how these players look and how these games play out, and what are the attributes that matter in this SimWin metaverse sports world. So head on over there. Make sure you submit an entry. The goal here from the SimWin team is to get 1,000 plus participants. So let's hit that number. We're already over 200, and we're 12 hours into this thing. So we're off to a really good start. Make sure you get in there. If you've got any friends or family that might be interested and you're hanging out with them over the holiday weekend, get them on in here. Get them signed up for SimWin. Hey, maybe even get them buying some Jolly Jokers. Get them buying some Jolly Jokers. So maximus.simwinsports.io. Head on over there, create your account, enter your contest, and then come back next Wednesday, and we'll watch this game. We'll do some scouting for the future New Orleans Jolly Jokers. Final plug here. We are partnering with Underdog Fantasy this playoff football season. Best ball So one of our favorite games. Justin, of course, is the best ball king himself. I've been doing some best ball drafts as well. Did a draft on stream on Monday. Not going to be able to do one today, but maybe we'll get into another best ball stream next week. Really, really fun format. I think, honestly, especially with the playoff format, playoff best ball is one of the most fun games, fun formats I think that there is. There's also a massive strategy edge to be had for those people that are doing it correctly. So head on over to underdogfantasy.com, use promo code OTM when you sign up, make your first deposit, and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. And we've got some more exciting news regarding the playoffs coming next week. It's going to be fun. For any of you OGs out there that enjoy various forms of playoff best ball, I think you'll like it. Because underdog playoff best ball is cool, but, there's some other fun ways to play playoff best ball as well, I've heard. And maybe we'll have an opportunity to do that next week. I don't know. You'll have to find out. You'll have to tune into our stuff to find out. There we have it. All right, everyone. Sign up for SimWin. Enter your Rumble contest by 1 p.m. tomorrow. Sign up for Underdog Fantasy if you haven't already. I was also thinking maybe we can get a little Joker poker going next week. Get that back in the mix. Maybe next Tuesday night. I pop that in the Discord. If anybody wants to play some poker, we might get that going next week. And really just, come out of the holidays strong. Come into January strong. A lot of exciting stuff going on. All right. Have a fantastic holiday weekend, everyone. I'll still be around, of course, in Discord, on Twitter, all the things. But we'll talk soon. Good luck this weekend.